Good morning and Namaste, my friend, and welcome to Namaste Today in the Zodiac weather. My name is Stepº5. I am the sensei to Sirius joy, here to stand in my heart and walk in the light. It is a pleasure to see you today. I'm love casting live in 5 dimensions in this beautiful tulip temple of Gaia on Thursday, March 26, 2015. And things today I think will kind of perk up. That's because today's step 5 rules the day. Now, step 5 ruled yesterday, the end of yesterday or last night, but it's not until we wake up with the vibration that we are in that state. So we're in our mental state, that's the I think, and so far this comes down to understanding. We're trying to figure out where to put our energy, Aries, where to put our actions, or the right action, or the right reaction, or to step up, or to step down, right? What are we going to do? Well, today you start to figure that out. So things are blossoming in the creative perspective. We're going to figure things out. Our mind's going to get it. And so as we set out on our journey of getting it, let's actually tune the instrument we're using today, our brain, with the phrase of the day. I am mindful of my strength today. I am ready to move forward. And so it is. So if you run into something that kind of stinks, just be like, I'm mindful of my strength and ready to move forward, right? This is what gets you through. Just first of all, be mindful of your strength. Strength comes from all the times you've done it before, all right? So the mindfulness of strength does. So remind yourself of the times you have been strong if you can't find your strength today. Your mind will be able to call to it a lot easier when step 5 rules a day. So I'm mindful of my strength and ready to move forward, which means we've already decided what's going to happen. We're going to keep going, all right? That way we don't need to stop and worry or anything like that. This is Aries. Doesn't feel good to stop in Aries. Feels good to keep moving, even if it's slow, says the Taurus. At least keep it moving. So I'm mindful of my strength today, and I'm ready to move forward, and so it is because I said so. The serious step of the day is step 5. That is Gemini. So our intellect is on top of things today. And that is also Mercury, or I think state of awareness. Now, there are 3 critical times that the mind gets involved. And as far as I'm concerned, these are the only 3 times the mind should weigh in heavily to where we are. The first is this one, I think. How do we think we are? This is us really finally getting it. And because the first dimension is what we're mindful of, when the mind gets it, the first dimension lights up. So we finally get it. We get it. We get how far we are to 10. We get how far we are from the bottom. We get it. Okay. Then when we are at step 15, this is where we're trying to refine our behavior. And we're trying to bring our mind into a refinement and to bring our mind back to the heart, because we may have run too far away from the heart at that point. So that's what rebalances us. And step 25 is where we put the mind on our feelings. And that's when we open up to God. That adds to a 7. So when we put the mind on our feelings, then we are channeling spirit at that point. So that is really, step 25 is when the mind rests. And really when the mind goes to a listening position only. So looking at the colors of the day, we are in red, root chakra, right? So let's be kind to our neighbors out there. Everyone is feeling it. I am Aries. I am this. I am tired of hearing that from you. I am tired of this behavior. And we add I think, which actually is yellow and near our feelings. So you want to be mindful of your feelings no matter what happens. And if you have any kind of issues down there, this is it. Your mind needs to get in alignment with your feelings. So if you feel sick or you have indigestion or you can't digest, mind and feelings probably not working together at the moment. So let's look at the cosmic clock, shall we, and see what the timing is of things today. And here we are at the cosmic clock. Well, for starters, the sun is at step 5. Step 5 is Gemini. and Gemini is I think. So at the end of the day, our mind is ruling the day, and our mind is in control of our animal. You might say, hey, my mind's always in control of my inner animal. Well, today it's going to have better luck. And sometimes people try, sometimes the mind needs to take a back seat, actually, and it's forcing control. It's just my experience working with people. But you may say, well, where's the mind at? The mind is at step 22, which means the mind is ready to leap today, leap to a new belonging. All right, that's what it adds up to, is a 4. And this belonging is a spiritual, based on spiritual, Pisces. So our mind is ready to take a leap of faith, faith that we already worked out last month, technically in our calculations, but now we might actually have to sign a check somewhere. So we are taking a leap of faith. Then the moon is in Gemini, stirring a lot of thought for half the day, then moves into Cancer the second half of the day, which will make us moody by the second half of the day. So the mind is almost setting us up for how we feel tonight. So be very mindful of how you feel. Let those old things go. Be mindful of moving towards the future. Take advantage of this intellectual connection, and be prepared to nurture yourself when the moon goes into Cancer, because we all get a little moody, a little crabby. I think that's where that term comes from. Then this grand trine in fire is a big thing going on underneath the seams. It's trining into the sun. So that means our heart is logged into this thing. And Jupiter at step 12, which is a grandmaster step of Jupiter, kind of makes it quantum, makes it more powerful, is what I mean. And basically saying, hey, when we follow our feelings, step 2, when we follow our feelings, things will flow. And that probably means your feelings are revealing something your mind tends to want to ignore. All right, so be mindful of that. Be mindful of your feelings, right? And realize that with Saturn at step 4, we're all going to be subscribing to new beliefs here any second now. In fact, Saturn moves into Scorpio as it retrogrades all the way back. And I believe that is because we're going to come to a new realization that we're not of this. We don't belong to this. We don't believe in this anymore, which means we now believe in something else. And that means our personal boundaries are going to be changed and affected. So everyone is going to be, let's say, uncomfortable for a few minutes when they accept the truth of whatever this grand trine is trying to tell us. And then Venus, thank Goddess, is actually at step 11 today, and she is bringing healing. So the good news is as you step into your new you, your new view of you, all right, you are in fact going to be stepping into your healing and planting seeds for the whole year based on this new integrity. So I say it's worth the effort is what I'm saying. Now looking at the Tower of Truth here for Aries, the sun is at step 5, I think, for most of the day, and then moves to step 6, I receive, I give. And I'm putting it I receive, I give now, because I believe it is more about receiving in step 6 than it is about giving. But I think once you open up, it starts to flow, so you end up giving in that nature. So it is giving and receiving, but starts with receiving. We're open to receiving, I believe, later in the day, which also, so if your mind kind of gets it about your life, you get a breakthrough, the moon moves into Cancer, I'm open to receiving. Definitely a good back rub time or massage time tonight. Now, Mars himself is at step 26, which means our ego, which is what this whole transit about, is actually in the background making a decision on a very high level. So there's a part of our consciousness that is aware of what we're leaping for, committing to what we're leaping for, having an idea of what we're leaping for. Of course, until the sun gets up to that step, we won't really have to sign the check and leap for it. But we are kind of estimating where we might land right now, and that's quite all right. And it's go ahead, this is a preliminary decision, but go ahead and make that decision. Like, I'm trying to land here. Then you might get there and go, okay, maybe we should adjust to here. I think that was my Ross Perot voice. So let's add it all up, shall we, in today's Joy Quest. So today's Joy Quest, should you choose to accept it, is to find the new motivation in life. And yesterday I talked about, well, I think we're ending fight or flight. I think a lot of us are no longer doing fight or flight. And when I first realized that, I was like, well, what's going to get me off the couch? Now that I'm not fighting something or running away from something bad, like literally could not find my Mars, could not find my macho. And I realized we need new motivation, right? What motivates us? Something new. What is something, the new motivation? So You need to find the new motivation. What is going to motivate you to move and always move? What is that carrot that you want to chase after? And to set that carrot in motion, that's the Mars at step 26, the carrot. Like, I'm going for this, right? And that's the new motive behind everything, right? Is that motivation. So I would say the joy quest is to find the motivation. Try to find the new motivation. Try to identify what it is that's going to drive you all year long. And keep your ego feeling like a good doggy that's running after master's toys, right? That's, I think, how we have to kind of look at our ego. As subservient, because we want to rise above it, put spirit above it, right? So for those who are watched over my personal Sensei network at 909, I'll talk about what your heart is looking for today and try to give you some hints on how to put that together. And then at 11:11 a.m., I will say, how does your prenatal lunar eclipse influence your thinking? So a prenatal lunar eclipse is an eclipse that happens when you're in your mother's womb. And it's very interesting to track in a person's astrology because it ends up having quite an impact on a person's life. And I find it often impacts how you think. Then at 3:03 p.m., I will remind you, I've done this before, but this is a reminder to remember in the mind the key to opening your heart, what it takes to open up your heart. And that is preparing you, of course, for when the day is ruled by step 6, which is Venus, I receive. So I want you to be able to receive. Now, if you'd like to receive text from me and a little guidance all day long, it is well worth the price for less than, a cup of coffee in one day at Starbucks. It's like, that's $5. Well, this is for $19.95 all day for 7 days. I'm with you a week. So give it a try. Go down to SiriusStory.me. The gate does close on March 29th. So let's move on to today's telepathy. I am thinking of an Aries super thinker. Since it's I think, I was looking at all the Arieses that can really think, and I thought I would send you in our today's telepathy who I think is a cool Aries thinker. Okay, so my heart is attached to this person. Is it number 1, Larry Page, number 2, Chief Justice Sandra Day O'Connor, or number 3, inventor of the airplane, or one of the inventors of the airplane, and cool bikes, Wilbur Wright? Which was it? I'm setting it to you right now, and I will be back with the answer after this.
Hey there! Guess what's coming up? Sirius Joy Camp. Now tell me you got your tickets. We're just a couple days away. Come on down to soulmart.me. Introducing Secrets of Birthdays. Bow chicka bow wow. Are you ready to find love? Bow chicka bow wow. Your secrets are coming out. Bow chicka bow wow. All those sexy secrets are available at secretsofbirthdays.com. Bow chicka bow wow, baby.
SoulGarden.tv.
And welcome back to Namaste Today. So for the answer to today's telepathy, my question was, I'm thinking of an Aries super thinker. Is it inventor of Google search Larry Page, Chief Justice Sandra Day O'Connor, or Wilbur Wright, inventor of the airplane? All Arieses. Who do you think it was I was sending to you? You probably got this. Larry Page. That's just because I find he's very interesting. He's a 1973 baby, just like myself, and I've been very impressed with Google's attempts. Say what you will about Google, but my goodness, they've done very well for themselves at age 42. This is an Aries that does keep pushing with his genius. He's a co-inventor, by the way, of Google. There's another partner, too. I don't have his name at the top of my head or his step number, but Larry Page, a cool Aries that I've admired for some time now. Way to go, Larry. So let's move on to our cool musicians. We're doing rock and roll gospel from the cool Aries ones, man. And Aries can do it so cool, especially this one. You will agree. Elton John. Such a cool Aries, man. A step 4 Aries. Step 4 means what? Telling people where things belong. Kind of like Dolce & Gabbana, right? This guy has no problem bitch slapping Dolce & Gabbana. And I don't know if you know the whole thing, but I have to agree with Mr. Elton John, Sir Elton John, that, no child on earth is ever illegitimate. Ever. That attitude is just shitty snobbery, putting ourselves above other human beings as the problem. But, it's very common for Aries to speak out like this. Rosie O'Donnell is a female Aries who speaks out just as much as Elton John. So I am grateful for them. They say things when I wouldn't necessarily have the courage. So what out of his incredible library would you think I would choose today? Well, I think your song, right? Your song is a beautiful song. It is my favorite anthem that he's created. So listen to your song today. It is about you, right? But of course, before you do, let's take a look at the moods of each of your brothers and sisters, all making intellectual connections today. Good day to send an email today or something like that. But I'm going to predict to you today what I think the Grand Trine and Fire is changing. So you're thinking differently, I think, due to this Grand Trine. And here's how I think it lays out, starting with the Scorpios. Scorpios, I think they're sunny, but they are detached from life today. You're thinking differently about career, future, and I think you're open to where the money comes from. That's due to Saturn retrograding. Step 1, the Leos, sunny and feeling quite public today. I think you're thinking differently about stardom, what stardom is to you. Every Leo wants to be a star and shine some way, but I think you're thinking differently about that stardom, and I think you are open to what that is. Step 2, the Cancer, sunny and private today. I think you're thinking differently about money and finances, but I think you're open to a new workplace, like where that might be as far as work, as long as the money's there. Step 3, the Sagittarius is sunny and sentimental of their reality today. I think you're thinking differently about your life's true purpose, and I think you're open to how that will play out. Step 4, the Aquarians, sunny and creative today. I think you're thinking differently about your long-term relationships, and you're open to friendships and where that might be to hang out, neighborhoods, things like that. Step 5, the Gemini, sunny and cool with the moon in their sign for most of the day, thinking differently about your connections in life, and open to partnerships and what that looks like. Step 6, the Librans, sunny and pensive today. I think thinking differently about what your social status needs to be or not be, but I think you're open to new ideas, new conversation, and new connections. Step 7, the Pisces Fishies, sunny, nesting, and resting for most of the day, but I think you are thinking differently about your work style, how you want to work every day, and that makes you more open to what your career on a long term might look like. Step 8, the Capricorns, sunny and hyper aware of their reality today, but you're thinking differently about what you trust or don't trust and who you're willing to get in bed with. Wow, chicka, wow, wow. I mean that in every way. But that means you have to stay open to faith. Step 9, the Aries, sunny and chit-chatty today, out doing things. Happy birthday to you. But you are thinking differently about love, mostly loving yourself, and that opens you up to all new experiences in general and new knowledge. Step 10, the Tauruses, sunny and productive today for most of the day, thinking differently about home, and you are open now to how and where, is my opinion. And then finally, the Virgos, the Step 11, sunny and professional today, thinking differently about faith in themselves, and now they are open to home, family, and where they locate in particular. So follow that Grand Trine and see if it brings you joy. So here we are in the Lightwalker Parade. First of all, if you're watching on YouTube, please be kind and do subscribe. We thank you ahead of time. And on Facebook, you can be our friend by navigating to soulgarden.me and then hitting like. And then, of course, you can be on our email list if you go to soulmart.me, and I'll send you a good morning email each day. And we've got a couple days left. Let me help you help you. That's an old quote from one of those empowerment seminars. But the Sirius story will seriously help you, my friend. Help you map out your year and map out your ego. And don't forget, if you want to sign up for our April, it's going to be fun text messages. And you can get the camp, too, for $20 off. Just saying, it's all at soulmart.me. But this is my little stage right now for gratitude. Gratitude is the attitude I'd be not doing what I do if you weren't watching every day. So thank you so much. I love you. This is the cycles and circles of the universe. How beautiful, huh? That's what life does, just cycles and circles and cycles and circles. So here we are again, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Until then, remember, I love you, and live, love, be.
This is just so ironic.